Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included, episode 21. We're just continuing to get this whole facility up and running down here. Let's stick in a bunch of deodorizers all around here. Get all this air nice and fresh. We're transferring the slime currently over here because it's in a sterile environment, but it's not chlorine that we're transferring it to, unfortunately. So we're not getting the full benefit of what we had originally set up. Temperatures are coming down over here. We were at 37, now we're at 34, 35, 30, 32. Getting this cooled off. Going to set this up as a hatch ranch, and this another one hatch ranch right next to it. But I'm mainly concerned with getting this all sorted out. I want to know how much cooling I'm effectively going to get out of these cool slush geysers. I don't know how much they produce at this point, but we're going to keep like a pool of water down here that hopefully is going to cool this air as it comes across. Right now we're just letting it vent out to here. These high temperatures just not being managed really at all. Except by these wheezeworts here, I suppose, but yeah. It might ultimately be that we need to rearrange this and put our pump and gas filter up on this side. Frankie mastered the scientist job. Congratulations, Frankie. You can be a courier. Yeah. Get a bunch of fresh oxygen here. And ultimately start digging down. Ooh, yeah. Start digging down to like here. Open up this this biome and see what we can't find. Finding more wheezeworts in these frozen ice biomes would be nice as well. We have a lot of oxygen being generated up here from all this polluted water that we've accumulated using the algae terrariums. This has been a really good setup. Basically cost me very little duplicate time, and life has been going well. We're just basically electrolyzing all the water that we have here. So let's change the priority of all these to 4. We're good on oxygen right now. This is pretty good for our base. And instead let them focus a little bit more on what's going on over here. We'd like to get plastics up at some point, but metal refining I think is first on the docket. And to do that, I want to set up just a facility right here, basically. So, refinement, metal refineries, they're going to be plopped down, basically 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just start cranking out a lot of refined metals. Alternately, we could just have a couple and apply these other pumps to something else. But I think I'm going to start off with just all 4 cranking out stuff. Okay. So let's get some nice granite tile here and just stretch it across here. Pause for a moment. There we go. New duplicants. Nope. Get out of here. Alright. This we can have as a sort of cooling area as well. We can put some wheezeworts in here, pump the oxygen out that's coming in through here. But I'd like to see how well this works first. Because if we can get the cool slush geysers to do our cooling for us. Right now they don't seem very productive. But if we can get them to do the work for us, then we'll be pretty happy with the way things are set up. There's also the possibility that we just want to create some liquid reservoirs. That way you have buffers in a lot of these operations. Could also do air reservoirs for here as well. It would not be a bad idea. In fact, maybe we want to do that. Set up some air filtration over here. Start separating out the carbon dioxide from everything else so that we can pump it down into the oil biome. Refinement. Metal refinery. I think we want to make these out of ceramic, just so they have a higher overheat temperature. I think we might just set up 2 for the time being. Yeah, that seems like a fine idea. We'll just set up 2 metal refineries and we'll have them powered. We'll have them powered with some petroleum plants. Well, not petroleum, but natural gas plants. I think that's ultimately the way we're going to run things. What do these require in terms of power again? .2 kilowatts. Oof. And for power, a natural gas generator, which we can set up right here, is going to generate 800 watts. Alright, so maybe we want to think of this out a little bit. Maybe we just set up all 4 of the metal refineries, and then we set up our natural gas generators right here. I think I like that idea. Okay, so refinement, metal refinery, making them out of ceramic, like so. And we are going to deconstruct, something like this. And we'll pump out natural gas from this natural gas geyser once we get this sort of capped off. And we'll use that to power this gigantic apparatus. We will want to set up a separate power line for these liquid pumps. One that just runs across here. We can have a hamster wheel or coal or something. Tile, granite's fine. And we will just stick a couple deodorizers down. Keep this air nice and minty fresh. And yeah, we're just going to hook these all up with heavy watt wire. Grab our coolant from here once it comes from the cool slush geysers. And probably pump it into a tank below, which we can use for other stuff. Not bad. Alright, so we do want to use this natural gas to power these metal refineries. We do want to have a big tank for polluted water, ultimately. Let's get these built. Deconstruct. Deconstruct. How are things going in the rest of the base? Food is fine. Oxygen's fine. Temperature is getting a little toasty on this side, but we're making progress on this side. 5.4, 33, 30, 31. Yeah, it's gone down by about a degree. Research, we're still just chugging along. Let's get acoustics. Yeah, and then we'll just finish up the research for those, and then we'll rearrange this whole area here. This is all just a temporary thing. By temporary, I mean 90 cycles long or so, but, you know, same difference. We still have plenty of algae. Yeah, unfortunately some of this ceramic needs to be disinfected. Jobs mastered. Catalina on the courier job, sure. No research ability for you, huh? Alright, fair enough. Let's have you be a groundskeeper then. Get that strength up. Strength means more carrying capacity. Finish this. Alright, so. Maybe I should have a scientist come out and study these. Just to see how much we're working with. Because right now they've just been dormant a long time. It's possible that these are basically just duds and aren't going to produce pretty much anything. Might as well study them now while there's no cold water on the ground freezing these guys. And plenty of oxygen in the room for them to partake in. Alright. I do want to set up some sort of water operation eventually. I'm not sure what that would be yet, though. Sure. Metal refinery complete. Let's mine out the rest of this. Dormant, dormant, dormant. Idle. Emitting steam. We're getting there, slowly. Yeah, we have just plenty of oxygen. I do want a little bit more of a food buffer. Now that we have this sleet wheat here that we get to harvest. That'll help improve it. Let's get this wheezewort somewhere. Yeah, plant it right here. That looks good. More easy wheezeworts to get. We're getting some meltage here, which is not really what we want to see, but we'll live. We can stretch this up along top. We're really just running out of clay. Yeah, we do not have much. Well, we can pick up some more clay, I suppose. Dig it out from over here. It's not a bad idea. And dig out all the easy clay that we can find. Get more ceramic. Man, these have just been dormant for so long. I'm hoping that these produce well. If they don't, we need to rethink a lot of this. It's not designed particularly well right now because of the way that the pump is set up, but wouldn't take much to change this. Again, as I've mentioned in the past, having all this hydrogen up here is going to make it really easy to just set up a little cooling center in here. Jobs mastered. Stinky has mastered his job. Let's put him on something else. Courier's fine. It's a little bit too early to go to tenured scientist. Let's go with courier. Courier is very useful, just like Gopher. Gets in that extra carrying capacity, which is pretty crucial at the end of the day. Sandstone, you say, huh? It's a little backwards in terms of how we want to do things, because we're going to have our petroleum area, or not petroleum, natural gas area kind of right here. People are going to walk past to get to the metal refineries, but maybe it's just inevitable. This is where things were. Coolant's here, fuel's here. Either we put the metal refinery some weird place up here and pump sideways, or we just do the natural thing and pump down. Grab that clay. Send it all off to be turned into ceramic for more insulation. Slowly just turning all this water into oxygen. In fact, let's look at one of the reports from last cycle. Alright. So we're not that hugely in surplus. This is one of our big generators right here. But eventually we'll run out of algae and need to shut that down. That'll be a while, but... Next activity, 26.1 cycles. Okay, that's a long time from now. 7.4 kilograms per second for about 50% of the time. And the activity period is more than 50% of the time. It's actually pretty good. New duplicant. Don't have what I want. Turn you into goo. Yeah, queue up another 20 of these. Close out these. Alright. So this one's not bad, it's just it's gonna be 26 cycles before it's active again. That's fair. And research. Let's get solid fuel combustion, why not? Sure. We're not going to complete the that bit of research just yet. We're just going to finish that up and then we're going to destroy these buildings. We'll let the researchers go somewhere else. So, we want coolant. We want coolant and we want... our power from the natural gas geyser. So maybe it's time to tap this natural gas geyser and get that going. We also need to set up an area for our sort of reject coolant plus natural gas geyser off-put. I don't know what you call it. So how big do we want this to be? It doesn't have to be that big, but we'd like it to be kind of wide to have a lot of heat transfer. So I think we're just going to set something up, maybe just right here. I think that'd be fine. Yeah, that seems fine. We're going to do normal tile, but we'll make it out of igneous rock. Yeah. Just set it up right across here. How about this one? 17.3 cycles, 10.9 kilograms per second. But a little bit worse on these. That is a lot. 10.9 kilograms per second is a pretty good amount of output for a geyser, for a cool slush geyser. Dig out this. And for now, let's get some deodorizers up. Something like this is fine. Let's check on vitals just for a second. Everyone seems okay. Nicola is a little starving. He's a little stressed as well. The other big thing, well, two big things. One, I want to get down to this neurovacillator at some point. And I also want to get a thimblereed farm going. Just so we can have ourselves some clothing and canvas. And basically things that will improve decor and reduce stress. So, what is the to-do list? One, we want to set up this loop, which means we want to set up some area which is going to be... we want to set up some area which is going to be the... Yeah, what are the things for the next episode that we want to do? Alright, so, number one, we want to make this a closed loop. We want this water ultimately to be filtered through a sieve and fed back in, probably in some sort of reservoir. We'll disinfect it first by letting it sit in the chlorine for a while, but ultimately it's just going to closed loop come back, and we'll generate a little bit of water in the process because the dupes produce more water than they use in the bathrooms in this sort of weird thing, that the weird mechanic that the game has. So that's number one. Number two, we would like to get more ceramic for insulation and insulate more or less the top side of the base here, and ultimately this area as well. That's going to take a while, and we're not at a critical point with it yet. Number three, we'd like to set up our ranches. Kind of have the area set aside for it, but we have a rancher, but we haven't really done it yet. Had bigger priorities. We'd like to get all this stuff out of here as well, but that's not super high priority. So ranching, the bathrooms, insulating the sides. These cool slush geysers are going to be dormant for a while, but in the meantime we can set up we can cap this natural gas geyser, pump out the natural gas, and use it to have some natural gas generators, power up these metal refineries, get that refined metal. That's number four, refined metal in this whole operation. Number five is probably digging down to the fossil layer and starting to pump down some of our CO2 into that area. It's not like it's a huge buildup, but I mean this is all pretty much CO2. This is chlorine. We have some CO2 here, some CO2 here. That's not that huge, but we have some CO2 to get rid of, which would be nice to get rid of. And the sooner we do that, the sooner those slicksters start producing oil. And also it lets us set up a plastic operation, which is one of the next things on our list. We probably, as part of all this change over here, we want to change how we've set up our thing right here. It's doing a pretty good job of turning manual power into oxygen. And then we're going to take this area right here that we've kind of set up and turn it into, just put a bunch of wheezeworts here where the generator is, and then I think we'll just shift the generator down here, and we can actually just pump out the oxygen through here. I think maybe we'll just bypass this. We gave this a shot. We kind of let this work its way, but I don't know, 20 cycles is a long time, or I guess 17 cycles is a pretty long time to wait for your oxygen generation to come online, and we have a solution here, which is just fine. So I think we're gonna change tack a little bit with this. And what else? I know I'm missing a few things, but I think I'm gonna cut the episode here, just setting up sort of a checklist of things I want to do in the future episodes. And I will see you guys next time.